branch name as 10 reddish. That means there is an error somewhere. Even at the right hand side there, consider it as 10 reddish. Let me zoom in small. So let me do curly brace close. Sometimes I will hit enter to make space for me to put the code inside. Now, the next thing that will come is what we call the property. The property is what will assign the effect that should be applied on this div inside the HTML. So we are going to say background color, background dash color. Sometimes when you're typing, it just gives you the suggestion. That means that it has just understood what you're typing. If you see that the highlighted keyword is just exactly what you are coming to do, then hit enter on the keyboard. They said automatically it brought a column. So that means after every property, let's say height, H-E-I-G-H-T, there should be a column. There should be a column before you assign a value, or before you assign whatever the height should be. So background color, let's say blue, B-L-U-E, Control plus S to save. And then always it should end with what? A semicolon. Always. Without the semicolon, the next, that one will take effect, but the next property will not work. So that has not been highlighted in blue again, but rather it has faded out. So let's say semicolon at the front of what? The property. That means that property is what? Complete. And then you can move to the next line and do another property followed by our column. Then the value will come. Let's say height. Let's say 300 pixel. Then semicolon should always follow. Control plus S. Now go to the website. It has been what? Applied nicely. So the part of CSS. CSS is made up of how many parts? We have what? The selector. That is what select, the one that will select that particular element. The element name in the HTML that you are what? You want to what? Apply the effect to. You want to apply the changes. You want to apply the styling. Then it's follow what? Curly brace open. Then inside the curly brace open and curly brace close, there should be what? Properties and their value. Properties and their value. Properties and their value. Then always they should all end with what? A semicolon at their ending. That is all. You can write your CSS. Sometimes you can even forget to put this. It is possible. It is possible. And then you see when you are going, when you bring address, say width, width. You know this. It is not even highlighting it as blue. Anytime something becomes highlighted in a color, let's say blue, red, yellow. That means that is the rule is what, or your writing or whatever we have written is what is correct, and it's going to what? Render. It will show. It will reflect. So width of let's say 10 pixels, 10 pixels. And this. Let me remove this. Control plus X. It has taken effect. But then it has shown that this is error. Please put that there. It's very, very important. Some browsers will know what? Display the width. It will break. Alright. So a width of 10 pixels. So I made a quick search before we can continue. This thing is not in the topic, so let me just make a very quick talk about it. Pixels or units. Well, CSS has units for measuring things, okay? Just like in class we are taught the unit of measurement. So the units include we have centimeters, inches, diameters, which are kilometers, meters, and those ones. They are all units of measurement, okay? But then in browser or in CSS, or talking about digital, we use what we call the pixels. And I'm sure pixel is about the number of those display dots on your screen that make up a color. And many of those pixels come together to form an image of different colors. But then, as you can see, I've written 10 pixels. The pixel is the unit. 300 pixels. The pixel is a unit. So let me say width 10 centimeters. No problem. 10 centimeters. But I've never tried centimeters. I've never tried inches. It didn't actually highlight. That means inches is not here. Then we have another one called rem. R-E-M. That's relative measurement, relative measurement or something. Rem. And it is mostly used and widely understood by browsers. One rem is the same thing as what? 16 pixels. Okay, keep it in mind so that you know, oh, how many pixels do I need to make one rem? So one rem is what? 16 pixels. Another point, by default, every text, as you can see on the website, this is 16 pixels by default. Okay, this is 16 pixels by default. 16 pixels by default. 16 pixels by default. And then if you want to change the font size, let's say font dash size, so I will do something like 30 pixels. That means you should grow bigger than the initial size, and of course that's grown bigger than the initial size. So that is about the unit of measurement. You also have the rem. What about if you use 2 rem? That means 2 rem should be like, is it about 42 or 35, 30, something like that. Yeah, so 2 rem. Let's try 2 rem and see if we get that sync. All right, and it stays the same thing.